Okay, let's start. Welcome, everyone. This is our second live session related to week 2. We are very happy to have Teresa here with us. Thank you so much, Teresa, for joining us today. It's great. And those of you who are not able to join, you'll be able to watch the recording. So that's great. Well, as you know, our session is part of EVO 2025, from substitution to redefinition in tech enhanced learning. We are very happy to be part of this global community. And as also as coordinators of EVO, and this time co-moderators, lead moderators of this session, we are very happy to share a little bit more about our passion with the worldwide community. So I'm Rose Bart. I'm a teacher trainer. I'm from Brazil. And I have here Zinabi Musav, also a teacher trainer from Iran, and my dear co-moderator. And I just love working with her. It's so much fun. Thank you so much, Zinabi, for taking the time to put together this session and delivering it with me. Thank you so much also for taking care of all the posts. You have been doing a great job. And yeah, and today I just want to remind everyone to actually, if you haven't pinned your location yet on our Padlet, it would be really wonderful if you could do this, especially because it's a way for us to document the active participants in our session, and that helps us when we need to present, in Best of EVO, how was our session, to talk about it, and then we can also show this wonderful Padlet with our participants who joined us actively in our session. We are really grateful to have you all here with us. Okay, I know along the past couple of weeks, where especially the previous this one, right, week 2, we have talked about like tools that tends to have different functionalities, different possibilities, right? Padlet seems to be the favorite one. Everybody nowadays seems to love Padlet, right?
Yes.
Zinabi, have you been using Padlet Sandbox?
Yes.
Have you tried it?
Yes, I'm trying to share the link.
Okay. Teresa, have you tried out the Padlet Sandbox? That is this new feature?
Okay, no, I haven't. I haven't tried it.
Yeah. I have been using it since we lost the Jamboard. And wow. Actually, Padlet allowed us to actually import all our Jamboards automatically. So, well, one of the good things about Padlet, it's like the benefits, right? Like the pricing in terms of like how much it costs for you to how much you pay for it monthly. It's almost nothing in comparison to the amount of resources you have. But okay, the free version only allows you 3, and I'm like one of the oldest, I guess, subscriber, and I think it's one of the tools I use the most. But what I want to show here, and I create this activity as a template, also as a way for us to experiment is to let me grab this the link that is gonna be shared so I can open it. Share this step. Okay. And this yes, Teresa can show us, right, how to use it by using it. We're going to experiment by using it. But basically, the Padlet Sandbox is similar in a way. It's the same function as Jamboard, the old Jamboard that everybody loved, right? But has much more functions, much more. One of the things that I personally don't like about it is the font, the font type. But they are working on it. They're going to be changing it soon, and they will allow us to change the type of font on a Sandbox as well. One of the things I love about it is the possibility to change permission. So one of the things I do a lot is nowadays with my students, I use it as a presentation tool where I add my listening activities, I add text, I add like images. And then if I want to ask students to contribute to a discussion, for example, I can create one of the cards. They are called cards instead of slides, so they are cards, and you can share only that card. If you now you are able to, perhaps you're not able to use it. Are you, Teresa? Let me see.
And
Are you able? Yes, everybody's able to use it because it is open. If I change the permissions here, like if I change it to reader, if I change it to writer, if I change to reader, you'll not be able to do anymore. So, but what I like the most is the breakout link. If you want to give different students a different card, they only going to be able to see that card. That's the breakout link. If I copy and if I change here to reader, for example, now nobody can write on it, right? If you don't have if you're not a collaborator on the Padlet. And if I click on card breakout link and I share with you, what's going to happen is you're only going to be able to see that card. So it is very, very interesting how we can actually group students and give them, like, it's called breakout links, pretty much like the current Padlet also allows us to do, right? You can actually create one Padlet for each student. It's called the breakout Padlet link. It's the same with the Sandbox. And there is like a lot of other options here, which are very, very interesting to explore. And I highly recommend for everyone to, let me change it back to writer. I highly recommend for everyone to take a look and learn how to use it because it's really, really interesting. Let's go back to the presentation again here. And let me go. Okay. So, okay. So far in our technology integration journey in our session, we started thinking about the non-digital task. In my personal opinion, this is where we always need to start, right? Not starting at the technology itself. And many times this is teachers do this, right? They always think like, oh, how am I going to use this tool? Instead of like thinking of the objectives, what do you want, the purpose of the task itself. Start with the task, and then you find the tools that actually will be useful to accomplish that objective. We also asked the participants to think not just about the task itself, the objective, learning objective, but also teachers' roles and students' roles. What are the teachers' role in that particular task? What are the students' role? If the students' role, it's kind of passive, right? We are still thinking of, we are not really achieving what we want, which is get our students to be more active, more autonomous, developing new skills that goes beyond actually just the linguistic skills. So when there are certain activities that are non-digital, for example, group debate, right? You can do it without any technology. You just need people in the room. If it's if it is outside the remote online learning, if it's online learning, you can use a Zoom or Google Meet, and there's the same function. You get people talking, and basically use that technology, the meeting, the web conference technology, as just a substitution. If you only do that, right? You substitute what you are doing. The augmentation, it moves beyond, it gives you more, but it doesn't really change the nature of the task. And this week, the week 3, that starts actually today, tomorrow, right? It's already open, the week 3 for you guys. We are moving beyond that. How does the technology actually changes the task in such a way, or modifies it in such a way that increases the learning, solves all the problems also. You're going to see this in week 3. Zinabi is going to show you later. But we want to keep it moving, right? Keeping moving, pushing to and use an application of technology that is makes the students even more active in the process. So when we think of augmentation, that's part of week 2, we are thinking of efficiency, right? Like how this task can actually become more efficient with the use of technology. So Kahoot, for example, also was mentioned in week 2. It's a tool that basically substitutes quizzes, the paper quizzes, the classroom quizzes, but it has lots of more functions. It has a lot of more things that makes it this quizzing time more efficient. So we are augmenting our teaching and learning experience. But I have a question here, which is for us to reflect. In fact, this is a new feature of Canva. Have you guys seen it? We are able now to actually, let me see how it works, because I haven't tested it. So I'm testing here with you guys. Actually, nowadays we can get a presentation in Canvas, because I always use Google Slides, but I told this in a bit. Oh, let's use Google Meet. Let's use Canvas. First of all, because I don't know if you know this, but when you use Canvas to present, okay, let me see, interactive, start a new session. I learned it. We start a new session, and then I believe, copy invitation. So let me grab you. You see, it's pretty easy. Now, there are 2 types of questions that we can use. We can use the poll, like this one, or quizzes. So we have lots of possibilities. One of the problems sometimes with Canvas to do presentations, but Google Slides didn't have it anyway, was the embedding. You want to embed Padlet, for example, or any other tool you're using into your presentation, so you can actually show students in real time with Canvas, we can do this now with the Embed app, which is very interesting. You go into apps in Canva, Canva, and then you type embed, and you get this app, which allows you to embed into the Canva slide. So it's very, very interesting. Let me share the link here of the presentation so you can experiment and see what it would be like for you. We can only share. We can also do pretty much like Mentimeter, isn't it? We can go to a website. It's called Canva.live. And we put on the code. There is a little code there. It's BT, BZ, QRRB. Unable to connect. Were you able to connect with the link?
I cannot see anything. Just it asked me the name and is saying type a question or comment. What to do? Maybe write something.
You need to click. You can click on substitution, augmentation. You're supposed to be able just to click on it. We are testing live.
Yes, I can give comments.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go
I
ahead,
see the same thing. I see the same thing that Zainab said that she saw. It just says type a question or comment, and
okay.
yes, and enter your name. That's it. There's nothing else.
Let's see what Teacher Rose is not doing right. Yes, I can see.
Because we are in live session.
But it's supposed to be able to participate in the slides.
Because we just can give comments. We cannot
Yes.
see anything.
It's like a question answer, like in Google Slides, right?
Yes.
If you activate it, you can do a question answer. Okay. Which is a way, a way to augment as well your presentations. But you're supposed to, okay, we need to learn. So I'm going to end the live session on Canva. And then I think we need to learn. We'll do a tutorial. We'll learn it later and do a tutorial on that one. But another thing that I really like about Canva, it's nowadays you can actually have remote control, and there are like a lot of cool things. Let me add here. So Zinabi, we have a homework. How can we get this poem quiz to work?
Comments.
Yeah, supposed to. QR code. It's not getting it. I wanted to test the. I want to test the QR code, but somehow it's not picking up. I don't know why. But anyways, let's keep it going. So don't take a lot of it. There is a time. I don't know how much time she'll be able to stay with us actually. Okay, you responded live now.
Rose, we cannot hear you very well. Rose.
Just a minute. I'll be back.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. It's just a problem with the connection. It's just a problem with the connection. Okay. But let me ask you this. When students use Canva to create creatively, make the most of the various resources Canva offers, are they using it at what level? Zinabi, And Teresa, would you like to share your
Augmentation.
opinion?
Um, I mean, not knowing everything that Canva can do, I would say they're using it at modification.
Okay. How about you, Zinabi?
I think augmentation.
Okie dokie. Let's see. So we need to think from two perspectives: learners as creators and learners as consumers. So what's in to be said about the augmentation? It's when learners are consuming something that was prepared by teachers. Nowadays, teachers can create worksheets, for example, in Canva. There are some features here that allows for example, to brainstorm something, right? You can use a board to brainstorm. So when they are more like consumers, yeah, that's right, augmentation level, because we are just like making the process more efficient. If you open a Canva board, brainstorming board, and you ask students to come and add their ideas to the board, you know, it's kind of we could use a board, the classroom board or any board. It's just like improving the process. But as creators, it's just like Teresa said, modification level, because they become creators. They can collaborate here on Canva as well. They can create the designs. They can use various resources, and also collaborate with other students to make their creations. So we always need to think of learners as creators or consumers. Are we producing something? Are we creating a task where our students are more like doing something, yes, but consuming more than creating? If they don't use their creativity, then it's more like to the level of enhancement of their learning, other than really transforming their learning experience. And some of the classic tools, right, like Kahoot, Mentimeter, Quizzes, even PDF Gear. Although PDF Gear, Zinabi is more acquainted with PDF Gear. I use Adobe PDF Acrobat more often. But from what I see, we can even nowadays use the AI, right?
Yes. You can ask questions, you can edit the text, you can collaborate. Yeah, it has more options for students. They can highlight, they can underline, they can have summary of the articles. For example, if you open with PDF Gear, it has many options for students.
Yeah. I'm thinking here that their study time also becomes more efficient, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when I think of augmentation, I always think I link with the word efficiency. How this technology helps this task, right? In terms of efficiency, becomes more efficient for the learners, for the learning process. Quizzes, I use a lot quizzes nowadays with my students, my teenage students. And they have now the AI. So for the teachers, it's wonderful. Teachers actually have a lot of them for creating digital tasks. We have lots of AI, resources, features that help us. But when we think about developing tasks and when we think of this model, the semi model, we are thinking more of what the students are doing with that task and how that digital tool helps them in the learning process than what really we are doing, right? So it's always the focus, the learner centered on the student to become, so a student can become more develop like the skills we want that goes beyond just the linguistic skills. And this is it for me. I don't know if anyone has a comment for related to what we just discussed for week 2. We are wrapping it up. And if you do, please go ahead. Zinabi, Teresa, do you have anything else you would like to add to week 2?
Not specific to week 2, but just in general, since we've started, I like that we are learning about digital tools, and I think it's important to remember that digital doesn't necessarily mean AI, because there's so many amazing digital tools that aren't AI. And so one of the things that I have really enjoyed is seeing what some of the other teachers are doing with digital tools that I already use, but using them in a different way. So it's giving me a lot of ideas.
That's great. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for sharing that. Because touch the point, that is the core of our session. It's really thinking about the tasks, right? It's how you design it for the purpose and how you're going to achieve it. So, that's what we are trying to achieve with our session. And I think we did, Zinabi. Thank you, Teresa, for your feedback. Zinabi, it's on you. Okay. You can comment on week 2 and then go ahead with the week 3.
Okay, thank you, Teresa, for your feedback. And thank you, Rose, for showing some of the features of the tools. Okay, in registration week, we focus on connection. You introduce yourself to other participants, exchange your teaching experiences, creating your own digital avatar. In week 1, we discussed about non-digital tasks that are commonly used in our teaching context. You gained a better understanding of the SAM model, and reflected on the SAM levels, discussed which levels were most suitable, more applicable to your own teaching context. In this way, we build a foundation for understanding how technology can enhance our teaching. In week 2, the focus was using digital tools to take non-digital tasks to the augmentation level. We identified key features of tasks at the substitution and augmentation levels of the SAM model. You designed amazing digital tasks at the augmentation level, and thank you for that. And throughout week 3, you will gain a deeper understanding of how the augmentation and modification level differ, using examples from your own teaching experience or articles provided on Canvas. And you'll analyze and evaluate digital tools, identifying the features that enable task modification, and you redesign one of your non-digital tasks to the modification level. And finally, you'll share your reflections on the challenges and strategies involved in implementing these tasks in your unique teaching context. But let's take a closer look at tasks for week 3. For task 1, we are going to read articles about the SAM model to deepen our understanding of the augmentation and modification levels. The resources, as I said, articles have been provided on Canvas. You need to reflect on how Augmentation and modification differ. You can use examples from the readings, or you can share your own teaching experiences. Please share your reflections in the discussion forum, and don't forget to engage with your peers by responding to their posts. In task 2, based on what you've learned in task 1, you analyze how non-digital tasks can be redesigned at the modification level. Start by watching the video to see examples of task transformation. The video shows how a non-digital task can be transformed at the modification level. It has used 3 different digital tools: Google Docs, Padlet, and Lucidchart. After watching the video, reflect on which digital tool, I mean Google Docs, Padlet, Lucidchart, best supports this process. How each tool's unique features modify the task to make learning experience more engaging, more interactive, or collaborative. Then you need to reflect on your choice, and please explain why you selected that tool, what unique features it has, why it is effective for modifying the task, how that tool can support students' engagement, how it can enhance learning outcomes, or what specific features it has that make the task more engaging, more interactive and collaborative. And also in your reflection, you need to identify any potential challenges you might face using that tool in your teaching context. So don't forget to address these questions while posting your reflection. For task 3, you need to select a non-digital task you use in your teaching and redesign it using one of the tools I explained, Google Doc, Padlet, or Lucidchart. You'll make your plan, including the task objectives, instructions for implementing the task, and justification, for example, why it is effective for modifying the task, how that tool can enhance learning, and submit the link to your document. For task 4, finally, you'll need to think critically about the challenges that you might face when using your chosen tool. It's important to think about potential challenges that might arise when using these tools in your teaching. For example, what if your students aren't familiar with the tool? For example, in my teaching experience, I've seen how some students struggle with access to technology. Not all students have reliable internet connections or devices to use this tool effectively. So it can create a challenge that can impact how a task can be implemented very well. So you may need to think about that, and you may need to provide offline resources, extra support, or sometimes I ask students to work in pairs or small groups and share the resources. Or think about other challenges. What if your students aren't familiar with the tool? Whether they are comfortable with new tools, whether you need to create some tutorials for making them familiar with the features of the tool, and because sometimes they are not familiar with the tool, and they focus on the tool, they don't focus on the task itself. Instead of focusing on the task, they focus on the tool, and they are they get distracted or frustrated. So these questions are very important, because while technology is effective and powerful, it's just a tool and it's not a magic fix. That's true. Technology opens up amazing possibilities for creativity, engagement, collaboration, but it can lead to frustration and distractions, and we need to integrate it thoughtfully into our teaching context. So please, when writing your reflection, be sure to include specific strategies for overcoming these challenges. And this reflection not only helps you think ahead, but also ensures that your choice of tool aligns with your students' needs and the realities of your teaching context. Okay, I'm so excited to see how your ideas evolve as we explore new ways, strategies for modification and redefinition in the coming weeks. Okay, if you have any idea, if you have any question, please.
Yeah, Teresa has one actually. She asked if we want our participants to be documenting on a Google Doc and share the link to that.
Yeah, yeah. For the task, the last one, the task 4. Do you mean?
Yeah.
Task 3, you said document and
Yeah,
share.
yeah. I think it's better. We didn't mention on Canvas that you need to share your task on just Google Doc, but you can use it. It's good to cooperate. Also, other participants can give their comments on Google Doc. It's up to you to use Google Doc or other tools. But don't forget to send the link to document to our Canvas. I think it is assignment roles.
Yes,
right?
I'm looking at it right now. Let me see if I.
Because they need to send the link to their document.
Yes,
It's not
yes.
discussion forum.
No, task 3. When they redesign a test to the modification level, they create it on a document. That document needs to contain the task objective, implementation instructions, the teacher and student's role. They need to reflect on that and justify why this redesign meets the modification level and how it improves learning, right, or enhances learning. I find a little bit difficult to use the word enhancement because the model says that augmentation is an enhancement, but we know that enhancing is to make it better, right? To improve it. Okay,
yeah.
So they only need to, it's a submission, it's an assignment. They need to create this doc. They can actually upload it to their Google Drive and then share the link. So the only thing they need to add here is a website link. That's for task 3. For task 4, let me open it here. They are going to be, we have some reflection questions, We have some guiding questions. One challenge you might face when implement the redesigned task at the modification level in your context. How would you overcome this implementation challenge? What strategies would you employ to ensure the success of the implementation? So task 4 is for them to reply in a discussion forum. And here they just going to share their experience on redesigning a non-digital task to the modification level by stating the challenge and how you would overcome it. So we have some guiding questions to help them, but this will be in a discussion forum. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they need
task
just
4.
to add reply.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, and after that, it's week 4. So we have only those 4 tasks for week 3.
The reason I asked, so we're not putting it on Padlet then?
No, not in week 4, no. Week 3, no.
Great.
We don't have a Padlet for that this time. Yes.
Okay.
Mainly because I think at the modification level, it's good when the teacher can actually discuss with us, right, first, and we can help in terms of the redesign itself. And then in task 4, it's the time for like, okay, how moving, right, for the augmentation, because this is what I see most of the time with digital technologies, and what Zinabi mentioned about considering students' background with the technology, very, very important. Because at the modification level, we are implementing tools where students are more active, and most of the times they don't know how to use that tool for learning purpose. They know how to use internet. They can watch videos. They can participate in social media. Many years ago, one of my specializations in Brazil was to research the way students in various levels of education, how they use digital tools for learning, for the learning purpose. So I investigated in college, in one of the colleges, even it was a distance course, had various distance course, and still students had lots of difficulties to actually use the tools for their own learning purpose, other than the platform they were offered for their graduation courses. I also investigated with teenagers, 14, 15, interviewed like more than 400 teenagers with forms. We surveyed them, and we found that at the time it was like 2016 that that was one of the problems. They wanted to use, they used the internet, but the way they used it was mostly watching videos, for example, because that's all they knew what to do, you know. And when we teachers implement tasks that they need to be more, they need to do more, then it's just like Zinabi said. We need to make sure that we don't just give the task, but also prepare them to use that particular technology. Consider that as well.
And in my context, I mean, it's the same thing with teachers, right? I mean, some teachers do not have good connection to Wi-Fi, or they can't afford it because their salary doesn't cover it. I mean, I've had that as well. So it's kind of, it's on both sides, the digital divide.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, good point. It's true. Especially because teachers who are being trained, it means they are students now, right? So they are looking for ways to develop themselves. So of course they might not know how to also use that tool and for what purpose. And that's what we do as teacher trainers. right? We help teachers not only overcome that improve their digital skills, but also helping them see the potential of those digital tools and what kind of tasks. And that's what we hope to do with our session. We want the participants who join us to actually look beyond, right, just the tool itself. How can I use this tool? I can use for this, but what else can you do? Just like Teresa mentioned earlier, to see the different ways, the creative ways that teachers can actually use those tools.
Yes.
So I guess we are wrapping up our morning time together. And thank you so much, Teresa, for joining us. Zinab
Thank you
again
for
for
your
doing
hard
this together.
work.
Sorry?
Well, I am saying thank you for your hard work, for your active participation.
Yes,
I cannot.
it's true.
I'm
All
gl-
participants.
I'm really glad I got to join this time.
That's good. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm going to just stop the recording.